Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now this is going to be a singles ranking video of Roy Wood and Wizzard from 1972 to 1987. Now Roy Wood was part of the Move and they had their first single in 1966, but whenever the Move broke up in 72 he went on to be part of the original formation of the Electric Light Orchestra. He lasted for one album and then he went on to form Wizzard and had a solo career running alongside his Wizzard career. Now, as I say, between 66 and 75 he was one of the hardest working pop acts here in the UK, and he was rarely out of the charts. I'm not going to include the Move singles as I don't have that many. I've only got about 7 of them. So I'm only going to include the stuff he released under the name Wizzard or as a solo act. Now there is a couple of singles here that I want to show that I'm also not including. And the first one is Rockers from 1983. Now this is a collaboration with John Coughlin, the drummer of Status Quo, Chaz Hodges from Chaz and Dave, and Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy. It's a medley of rock and roll numbers and it's not very good. In fact, it's pretty rubbish. This one here is a collaboration with Doctor and the Medics when they do a cover of ABBA's Waterloo. Again, it's okay, but I can't include it. It's really a Doctor and the Medics single. And this one here that I don't know very much about, and I'm asking if anyone knows about this, please let me know, because I can find out nothing about it. This is a song called You Got Me Running, which was on Wizzard's album Eddie and the Falcons, and I always believed that it was released as a single. And whenever I looked up to see if I could get it, because I always loved the song and it would be very high on my list, it wasn't listed. And then I looked up You Got Me Running and it's listed under a band name called Smiley & Co. Now it's on the Jet label, which Roy Wood was to go on to in 1975. This is from 1975. Did Roy Wood have, apart from writing the song, anything to do with this single at all? I know the vocals do not sound like him, but did he produce it? I played this and I think it's really good. It's every bit as good as the original. So if anybody's got any information on Smiley & Co, You Got Me Running, please let me know. Okay, now he's had 30 singles from 72 to 87 and I've got most of them. There's about 3 I don't have, so I'll have to show a CD or an LP. And so we'll race through this because we're nearly 3 minutes, above 3 minutes in. So at number 30 from 1985, and it's Under Fire, and this is very dated and it's not a very good song. It's not brilliant. It's from his starting up album, the first single to be released from it, which was an odd choice because there are a few good songs off that album. At number 29 from 87, and it's 1, 2, 3, which is slightly better, but it's still very dated and it's not fantastic, but it's nice to have, but not a brilliant song at all. Now, at number 28, and this was released in 1980 and then reissued in 85. I'm going to show the reissue version, which is, I've got a picture sleeve, the other one I have doesn't, and this is Sing Out the Old, Bring in the New. Now this is, I think, his attempt, I like that back cover by the way, this was his attempt to actually write another, I wish it could be Christmas Every Day, but it doesn't really work. He does have the children's choir, as you can see there, and as well, but the song is nowhere near as good. Okay, an LP for this next one, and it's a 1982 single, and it's called OTT. It was written specifically for this singles album, I believe, or it had been kicking about, but it had never been released before. And it's a decent enough little new wave number. Nothing special, but it's a decent enough song. And yeah, good album. This is probably, if you're getting a single Roy Wood greatest hits album, this is the one to look out for. At number 26, and another new wavy type song, and this is from 1982 as well, and it's not easy. This is slightly better than OTT, but again it's nothing really fantastic. It's just a decent enough new wave type song. Now at number 25, and this is actually credited to Roy Wood's Helicopters, or Roy Wood and the Helicopters, and this is Rock City. And again, this set of singles all seem to come from around the same time, and it is also quite new wavy. It's a decent pop song. You'd know it was from around the 1980 time, and it sounds of its time, and it's okay. At number 24, and from 81, and is Green Glass Windows, and this is actually slightly better. I actually quite enjoy this quite a bit, and this also features on that LP I just showed. Yeah, again it's in the same bracket. It's like a new wave type song, which, if you think about Roy Wood was basically glam rock with a Phil Spector touch to it, and then he went all sort of very rock jazz type, which you'll find out with some of the singles coming up. But yeah, enjoy this as well, and this is 24. At number 24, and I can't believe I didn't get this for my States video, and it's Indiana Rainbow, and this is from 1976, and this is actually Roy Wood's Wizzard. So you have various different names, but it's either Roy Wood or Wizzard or combined. And this, a single came out in 76, and there was supposed to be an LP called Main Street, which was like half jazz numbers. It was actually all jazz numbers, but it wasn't released, and it finally did get a CD release, and I think in the late 90s or early 2000s. It's an okay album, but this is the highlight of that album, and it's a decent enough single. At number 22, and it's rockabilly rock and roll, and it's a song called Rattlesnake Roll, and yeah, it's good. This is slick back hair, rockabilly, decent enough song, and it's also the same, more or less the same song as number 21, and it's Are You Ready to Rock, and this was his last big hit single for Wizzard, and there are a few bagpipes and all in this as well, but it is a rockabilly rock and roll number. And at number 20, it's the jazzy Dancing at the Rainbow's End. It is quite jazzy, but it's melodic jazz, and I think it's a really good song, and this also featured on a 79 album, We're on the Road Again, so it's a good song. We're getting into pretty good ones here. At number 19, and it's his debut single, and it's the bluegrassy when Grandma plays the banjo, which I think is hilarious. There's banjo all over it, banjo picking, and someone's learning to play the banjo, or he's learning, and he makes a complete hash. It's a good song. It's just fun. That's all it is. It's fluff, but it's fun. At number 18, and this is also known as a Scottish reggae song, and it's Going Down the Road from 1974. This got to number 13 in the charts, and it's not bad again. It's very, very catchy. He was still riding high with his Wizzard and solo career, and so this was a hit. It wasn't a huge hit, but it's a decent enough catchy song. One of the better ones of the 80s from 1981 is Down to Zero, and now this didn't chart, but this is like another rockabilly with a shoo-wop-de-wop type vocal on it. It's just a really good song. Really enjoy this, and again it's a pity it was never a hit single, so it's more doo-wop than rockabilly, but there's a wee bit of both in there, and a little bit of new wave as well. Okay, at number 16, and I have to show a CD, and it's a song called Raining in the City from his 1986 album Starting Up. A very strong Roy Wood song. It's medium paced, it's very melodic, it deserved to be a hit. This is actually not a bad album, because two songs off this, like Red Cars Are After Me and On Top of the World, for me could have been hit singles. Well, they probably wouldn't have been, but I think they would have been better singles. But Raining in the City is a very good effort from 86. At number 15, and is Dear Elaine, the second single from his Boulders album. This came out in 73, and yeah, He was riding high in the charts, which is why this one actually managed to hit number 18, otherwise I don't think it would have. It's got a very almost ancient type feel. It sounds like Middle Ages or music of that type, but it is a beautiful song, and I don't think it would have done well if he hadn't been having huge hits at that time, but still, it gets my number 15. And number 14, and it's the duet with his girlfriend at the time, Annie Haslam, and it's I Never Believed in Love, and this is on her Annie in Wonderland album, and this is a really good Roy Wood song. Again, it's medium paced, it's very melodic, and you can't say anything more about it. It's just a really good effort. And number 13, and one of the last big hits for him in early 74, was Rock and Roll Winter, and he was a little bit disappointed that this didn't do quite as well. It did get top 10, but it didn't hang about very long. It's got a very similar sound to the big hits of 73, but the problem about this song, he released it as they were just about going into spring, and he was singing about winter, so it wasn't going to hang about. But it's still a decent song, and yeah, it's a standalone single. And at number 12 from the On the Road Again album, it's Keep Your Hands on the Wheel, and this is the one that features John Bonham on drums, and you could tell because they've mixed the drums quite high on this song, but again, it's a really good song from a really decent album. Now, this album was released in the US and I believe Canada, possibly Germany, but by 1979 Roy Wood was not having the success in the UK, and it never got a UK release. Okay, at number 11, and another big storming song from 74, and this is the story of my love. Now, this is Wizzard by Numbers, the big bombastic song. This followed Rock and Roll Winter. This is a better song than Rock and Roll Winter, but this failed miserably, only hitting about number 32 or something in the charts. And after this, he went all rock and roll, rockabilly. But yeah, it's a really, really good song, and it's from the Eddie and the Falcons album. At number 10, and I'm putting this high, and it is jazz rock, but I really like this, and it's The Stroll. Now, this should have been on his Wizzo album, which is more or less got the same cover, which is a really difficult album to get into, although it does have one of my favourite Roy Wood songs called Earthrise on it. This here is similar type, but it does have a bit of a melody to it, and I think it's really, really good. So The Stroll gets number 10. Number 9, and the title track from On the Road Again, and this is another really, really good song. Deserved to have been a hit, even released in a picture disc. I don't even know if this was released non-picture disc. I think this is the only way you can get it, but excellent song from a very good album. At number 8, and we have from his Mustard album in 1976, Any Old Time Will Do. Again, another melodic song, medium paced, very good. Did nothing in the charts, unfortunately. At number 7, and a number 13 hit in 1975, and it's Oh What a Shame, and you know, this is as catchy as you'll get, and it's very easy to sing along to. Just a really, really good song, and as I say, not on any album. And number 6, and now this one is from his Mustard album, and this is Looking Through the Eyes of a Fool. Now, this is it's got a bit of a show up bit to it as well, but I think if this had been released a year earlier, this would have been a massive hit, but it didn't even chart, and it is one of his best ever songs. Well, it is, because it's my number 6. Yeah, an absolutely magnificent song from his Mustard album, and for some reason did not chart. At number 5, and the debut Wizzard single, is Ballpark Incident, and this is magnificent. You know, he left ELO, he released this, and this is really, really good. There is a rock and roll feel to it. There's a rawness to this as well, where the next singles weren't quite as raw and were a little bit more polished, but this is fantastic. So it gets number 5, which means my top 4 are all from 1973, his most successful year. And at number 4 is the number 1 hit, Angel Fingers. and this has everything in it, including the kitchen sink. This is like the Phil Spector type sound, which he tried to continue in '74, but it wasn't working. The '73 stuff was brilliant, and this is absolutely excellent. At number 3, and it's a solo single from '73, and it's Forever, and this has got a real Beach Boys vibe about it, but again, it's an absolutely beautiful song. Instrumentation in this is really, really good. Well constructed, well sung, just an excellent song with great backing vocals, and I think he does most of the backing vocals himself. So Forever, my number 3. My number 2, I'm going to give it to See My Baby Jive, the number 1 hit single from 1973. Absolutely brilliant. There's Top of the Pops performances on it where he looks really weird with all the makeup and the hair all over the place, but it's an absolutely fantastic song. Again, it's one of those Phil Spector ones with everything thrown in, but it's about 5 minutes long as well, so it's just really good, and every second of it is brilliant. And my number 1, I'm going to actually give it to the Christmas one, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, which only got to number 4 in '73 and stayed in the charts for 9 weeks, which is no surprise because after Christmas the Christmas records really do fall down the charts. But to date, this is actually spent 83 weeks in the charts, with being in the charts every year for the past nearly 20 years now. And, you know, so it's always there, and I have never got fed up with this. I absolutely love it. It's really great song, and it's my favourite party type Christmas song. Absolutely adore it. So that's my number 1, and if you were ever looking out for a single to get my number 1 and my number 2, look out for the 1984 version of, it's the same version of I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, and the B-side of that is See My Baby Jive. So that's my number 1 and my number 2. He did release a live version of this in the late 90s, which is actually very good as well, but again, number 1, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. Okay, so that went on a bit too long, so that's me for now. I've been sort of neglecting Roy Wood with this channel. I did about 2 years ago show my vinyl collection, going from the Move right up to the solo stuff, so it was about time he got the singles ranking. Okay, I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.